Greetings. Welcome back to SiteGrinder, a hint at a time, and I'm your host, Chris Perkins. And so far in the videos, we've been looking at buttons. We saw text buttons, graphic buttons, and layer group buttons, and that's all well and good. But buttons aren't our only navigation option, and in fact, if anything, buttons can be rather limiting. Buttons, while they can have hyperlinks set in the content manager and they can be changed in that fashion, buttons can't be changed in any other fashion. You can't change their text, you can't change their graphics, and you can't add new ones or delete them from pages. And this can create a problem sort of late in the cycle. After the site is created, your client has the site, and they decide they need to make a new page, and they make a new page, but they don't have any way to link to that page. What they need is a new navigation element. And a button just won't suffice for that. And so one of the things that's very useful, and really every website should have, at least every SiteGrinder website should have, are text menus. And so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to see how to make some text menus, how to customize them in the design manager. Probably not going to get into the content manager because we'll be looking at that very shortly and seeing menus edited there, but we'll at least do those first two. So text menu is nothing more than a text layer, and menus can be vertical with multiple lines of text, or they can be horizontal. So I'll just make a quick vertical menu here. I'll just name some home, our products, our customers, and contact us. So typical corporate type of menu that we might have. And I'm going to modify this a little bit. I'm going to add some spacing between the lines by increasing the space after in the paragraphs palette, and maybe I'll give it a good generous 15 pixels of spacing there. Really make the lines stand off from one another. Okay, so then all I have to do to make this into a vertical menu is just give it the menu hint. So I'll just call this my main navigation dash menu, and now this will be a menu. Now I may also want a menu perhaps in the footer, and very often that might be a horizontal menu. So I'm going to make another menu, and I'll just, once again, I'm going to drag out a little text paragraph here, and I'll just type in the same words we've got here. Home. Now when we're making a horizontal menu, it's all on one line, and so we're going to use it. We're either going to separate them with a vertical pipe character or with two or more spaces. So I'll just use the vertical pipe character here. So home, products, customers, and contact us. And this text is just a little too big here. Let's drop it down to maybe 10 points. There we go, nice little short menu there. And we are done with that. And I'll just name this bottom dash menu. So the dash menu hint tells SiteGrinder that a text layer should be interpreted as if it were individual items, individual buttons. And again, it can be vertical or horizontal. Vertical is just each menu item is on its own line, when horizontal, the whole menu is on one line, and it's separated by either double spaces or the vertical pipe character. And that's really all there is to it. Then we go ahead and we just open up SiteGrinder, and it's going to scan that file. I shouldn't be any trouble here. And we'll just go ahead and build this page out, which will just take a very short second. Now, the like text buttons, text menus can be customized in the design manager, which is really where the design manager really starts to shine. So as you can see here, these two menus are all working. So as I roll over my mouse over, each little line is each little item is getting the underline underneath it. But we're not limited to just merely underlining. We can actually change these styles in other ways. Now notice that right now the main navigation menu is a vertical menu style, and the bottom menu is a horizontal menu style. So SiteGrinder has different default styles for these two different types of menus. If I were to edit this style right now, the vertical menu style, I would be editing all vertical menus, the style of all vertical menus in this Photoshop file, or I can make a new style for it and use it uniquely. So I'll just make a new style for it. I'll just say this is my navigation style, and then I will maybe customize it a little. Certainly on the hover state, I'm going to change the background color, and I'll just change that to blue here and see how that works. Well, that works pretty happy. So now as I bounce around, I can see that the background color is changing to blue. I can also do things like perhaps in the normal state, I'll put a border around the menu items, and gotta make sure border is set to solid or something besides none. And now that has a border, and I can also come down here to the menu tab and close this up a little bit, and I can add other sorts of things. I can say we want decimal numbers on all my menu items, and I want those numbers to be inside the menu rather than outside the menu. If I wanted to do that, I can control the spacing of the menu. Like for example, -1, we'll tighten them up just a little to make that double border disappear. And I can actually change it so if I don't want borders between the items, I can apply a border to the entire menu instead of just to the individual items. So lots of fun stuff we can start to play with here. Now, really, with this menu, I'm probably not going to apply any sort of numbers to it. That'd be rather unusual. But I will. And once you start using the control down here to apply background border color items, this changes the way that the hover works. Now the background color is no longer available for something that can be uniquely configured on hover, because it applies to the whole menu, not the item. So we'd have to use a different way to highlight the items on rollover if we wanted to use that. Actually, I think I'm going to leave this on item, and I'll probably just turn off the border since I was just demonstrating it. And let's see how that works. And turn on my background color again, and well, that's pretty simple, and I'm pretty happy with that. I can do the similar thing for the horizontal menu and style it up as well. And that's pretty much all you need to know about menus for the moment. Later, when these pages are finished designed and we've now sent them over to our site, we'll be able to add menu items, delete menu items, rename menu items, set links on them individually, that sort of stuff. So menus are much more flexible than just buttons. If I were to add a new page to my site with the Content Manager, it can immediately amend a new menu item right then when I'm making the new page that links to that thing. So, even if you are using graphic buttons, I strongly recommend using some menus as well for navigation. If they're not the centerpiece of your navigation, they should at least be backup navigation, because as you or your client start adding pages, you're going to need ways to reach those pages, and the simplest, most straightforward way is simply to have a text menu that you can add items to. Otherwise, you've got to go back, make buttons in Photoshop, and rebuild the page and get it over, and do all that sort of updating, and that's just a lot of work for a client that simply needs one extra page added to their site. All right, thank you very much.